Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
3 games in to USA Basketball's, I believe, 5 games that they'll be playing here. Caitlin Clark still has not started. Now, look, under normal circumstances, if we had ever had those, it would, I wouldn't notice. It would register, but it wouldn't be this, oh, well, you start thinking about why this is happening. But with the way Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA and everything that's going on since, you have to wonder, with all this talk of chemistry and trying to figure out different combinations and lineups and all of that, why is Caitlin Clark, along with Ray Burrow, the only 2 players who haven't started a single game? I mean, that's weird, right? 3 games in and she still hasn't started. Everyone else, with the exception of Burrow, has started at least one time. It's weird, right? Now, I tried to do a breakdown video. I want to do something a little different for this, but like I've said before, certain organizations and stuff make it tough. If you found clips other elsewhere people got through, that's fantastic. But I tried to break down a bunch and they wouldn't allow me to. So I'm not going to try again. We had a great actually sequence with Caitlin and Angel, but unfortunately Angel completely bricked, like literally only hit the backboard on a easy layup from a Caitlin Clark pass. But to be fair, right before that, Angel Reese did set a very, very solid screen. Incredible. There was an incredible pass from Caitlin Clark to Paige Beckers, which is just top notch. I'm really going to see if I can figure out how to get that one on there. I want to talk about that one again because that was insane because that's also something Stephanie White's trying to take out of Caitlin Clark's game. So anyway, Caitlin Clark checked in around the 6-7 mark, so didn't have to wait as long. Props to uh, the coach who was filling in because head coach wasn't there. So we got substitutions going on in a different way. It wasn't hockey style. It was like 5 in, 5 out, that type of thing. So Caitlin checked in around 6-7 mark. Boom. Instant energy for the team. Everything got elevated. Driving laid up bucket. She dropped 12 points in limited time. It's wild. Well, actually, you're probably seeing highlights, but I do want to talk a little bit about the numbers because this is what's so crazy about this is Caitlin is tied for the team lead scoring average. Yeah, yeah. Isn't that insane? Her and Paige at 12.3 points per game. I mean, that's how efficient she's been. She's only taken 16 shots. Paige has taken 27 shots, but they're both averaging 12.3 points per game. They both have 37 points. Kelsey Plum's taken 22, Copper's taken 22, Howard's taken 18, and then Jackie Young has also taken 16. But Caitlin Clark, yeah, tied for the team lead in points per game. Because, to be fair, she's playing this is what's so weird about it. She's actually playing a decent amount of time. I'm not complaining about her. It's actually been very close. She's right up there at the top, really. Ryan Howard, uh, Paige, Kelsey Plum, and then you have like Derica Hamby and Jackie Young who are a little bit below. But so her playing time's fine. I have no complaints. It's just kind of weird that she hasn't started, and it's kind of bizarre to see a lot of the after that first game and the next two too much icing out, too many players who you can tell don't want to pass, and also the type of offense they run seems very reminiscent of Stephanie White. I remember one sequence coming up where Caitlin gives it. I can't remember who she gave it to, but she gave it to someone else to bring up the court. And then she's off the ball, doing her thing, running around and actually setting screens. And there was no intention of getting her the basketball at all, which, does that sound familiar to any of you? Because get used to it. That's the type of stuff you're going to see. But, she led the team with plus minus 27. And I believe, and I had caught it last night and then couldn't find it again this morning, but I believe she actually leads the team in plus minus. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I do have it. Yeah. She leads the team in plus minus. Okay. Just now, caveat I've talked about sometimes that can be bizarre because of, who you're playing with, but on a national team, that's a more legitimate statistic than usual because it's not like you're the one starter staying out there and you got some not so great players on the bench coming in that are just giving up time. You know what I mean? So it's kind of impressive. So yeah, she's plus 80, and then I think next was Kelsey Plum at plus 74, and they're the only two at least plus 70. Paige is only plus 59. So yeah, Copper is only plus 48. Uh, which, hey, well, considering we've got three blowouts, that's actually a big deal. But anyway, so let's kind of get into this. So Caitlin immediately changes the game, not just for the team, but for the fans. And yes, when you're not the NFL and you're not the NBA, and you're not Major League Baseball, we've talked about this before, that matters. Okay, she changes the game the second she touches the floor, both from a team perspective and from a entertainment fan perspective. Like I was going to say trifecta, but I didn't have a third thing. She even had this phenomenal play. She drove to the bucket, played some one-on-one, and hit an awesome, awesome turnaround fadeaway jumper. It was absolutely fantastic. So this team has had 3 games to find this chemistry. This whole fact-finding mission with the starters is absolutely ridiculous. Some of these lineups, again, when Caitlin Clark is not in there, it has been tough to watch. The head down ball pocket dribble around hero ball stuff, teammates holding it too long instead of swinging to the open shooter, all that stuff you had going on there. But and when she's out there, like I said, Stephanie White's influence, it's clear she's setting screens. We've seen all the players driving right past her, ignoring her, not giving her the ball. And again, do I know for sure what it is? No. Am I pretty sure? I think there's jealousy involved. There's some sort of agenda involved with some of these players. Absolutely. I mean, it's hard not to when you look at what's been going on the past 2 years, but she's your best playmaker. She's your highest impact player, and she's not getting enough touches. And to be clear, because now we got Caitlin Clark fans attacking other Caitlin Clark fans who are, having valid criticisms. It is the USA basketball team. I am not asking for Caitlin Clark to be shooting 15 times a game. It should be spread out. But the way it's going is not working. Caitlin Clark should be involved in the offense more because, again, it benefits everyone, right? That's why I said it. She had 17 points in that first game and she took, what, 5 shots? That's insane. She had 12 assists. So that's what I mean. I'm perfectly fine with that, right? I mean, in fact, I don't want to go off on and digress too much. This is getting kind of long, but just remind me, and I don't have it in front of me, but I saw someone made a comment. One of the low IQ, the Hatlins, made a comment that actually said Caitlin Clark, besides shooting too much, which you know, and telling you the stats isn't true, said she's selfish for getting a lot of assists. Yeah, you heard that correctly. I'm not even going to try and break that down. Like, but this is what we're dealing with. But unfortunately, this team has been pretty unwatchable when Caitlin Clark isn't out there doing what she does best. So, that again, that is a problem. That pass, if you didn't see it, like I said, I'm gonna try. I'll try. Maybe I'll do a video on just that, and I'll do a break it down so much that they won't, I won't show the whole highlight at once, and they won't claim it. But it was insane. No one else in the world makes that pass. It is the type of pass the fans want to see, and White wants to make extinct. I'm sick of hearing this stuff from Coach Lawson, by the way, this whole combination stuff. I'm sick of it. Caitlin dropped 17, 12 assists in 19 minutes in her debut. That's the second most assists ever off the bench in FIBA qualifiers history. We're trying combinations. Bro, eat a Snickers. You've got combinations. And I will say this again, and anyone who grew up playing pickup basketball knows this to be true. If you've got players who know basketball, right, high basketball IQ, you can throw out 5 players out there who have never played together before, and they will quickly figure it out and do just fine offensively and defensively speaking. But here's a combination for you, Coach. Caitlin Clark starts. You put the ball in her hands and the offense flows. Now, again, I'm not talking about her having the ball all the time and taking a ton of shots. But if Caitlin Clark is your point guard, The team is much better. It is not rocket science. It is basketball. But it's going to be interesting to see if she doesn't start again in the next game. And I think actually they didn't even announce like on social media. I don't even think they put out their graphic again with the starting lineup until after the game started because I think they kind of got like they're getting that the fans are getting frustrated with all this. And here's the next thing I'm going to say. And look, this is the women's game. And truth be told, I wouldn't say this next part for the men. I don't mean that as an insult to women. But I mean that as in the NBA is already massive, right? It's already huge. It's been huge for a while. With the women, that's not the case, right? We know that. We're talking see that with what's going on with the CBA and opportunity. So everything with the women's game, there has to be an element of understanding about the opportunity to grow the game. If the CBA gets signed, and after last season, Caitlin only playing 13 games, what better way for the league, for everyone to go into a new WNBA season with Caitlin Clark having had an awesome USA basketball stint. Right? Look, so bottom line, USA basketball winning games, fumbling the bag on entertainment, fumbling the bag on momentum, not giving fans what they want to see. Caitlin Clark isn't asking for special treatment. I get it. Here's the thing. As a Caitlin Clark fan, neither that am I. I'm actually looking for a little bit of equality. Again, leads the team in plus minus for 3 games. So anyway, this is getting so much longer than I had intended. I apologize for that. So hopefully if you all stuck with me, I appreciate it. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Got another game today. Oh man. Anyway, shout out to the 19. I will talk to you all later.